Hey there guys, I'm Vicky from the Bulgarian metal band Gwendit. To be honest, I don't really have any harsh feelings on that topic because, it is a fact that in the metal music industry there are more males than females. Thus, you know, the term rock god is more widely used than rock goddess and it's used more often. I just think that, the metal industry needs more females and the term rock goddess will become equally as used as rock god. Well, actually, I look up to both. I mean, I don't really care if the person is male or female, as long as he or she has done something to inspire me and something worth looking into, I am going to look up to them. Well, for me, it was never a hobby. I mean, since I can remember, I have always wanted to be a musician or just be part of the music industry in some way. I have always wanted to express myself through writing songs, to communicate with people that way because music is pretty much communication. And I have always wanted my music to be there for people when they need it. I mean, just like when I have been through some tough times, music was there for me, and it made me not feel so alone and like I'm not the only one going through this. Me and the others from Gwendid want to do pretty much the same for other people, and especially right now in this pretty tough times, all this pandemic going on and everything, many people are going through tough times. They're losing their jobs. They're all panicking and living in fear. And I think that music can be really beneficial for their mental health right now. And that's actually why me and the others from Gwendid are working on a project right now, which is, well, it is mental health related. So yeah, we think that it would help people a lot, but I cannot really tell you about it right now with many details and stuff. I can just say that it's gonna be out pretty soon. Unfortunately, I don't really have many funny stories to choose from, as last year after we released our debut album Human Nature, we actually booked pretty much all of the year 2020 with concerts and shows and tours and whatnot. But then the pandemic happened and we had to cancel pretty much everything. We only managed to have a handful of shows. Actually, a funny story popped in my mind right now. um, it was during the festival September Sun in Dobrich last year. We were playing our set pretty much as always. People seemed to really like us, and they were like, more, more, more. They yelled at the end of our set. So we were like, okay, we're gonna play one more song. So we did. Then we turn around and start packing our stuff in order for the next band to come on stage. And that's when I noticed, just a backstory for this, real quick. Our guitarist Reini, she was wearing, a see-through bodysuit, like a crop top, which had to be buttoned up, and a leather jacket. Um, the problematic thing about this is that she wasn't wearing a bra under it, and you know, when we had finished our set, this top was like holding at just one or two buttons, which means that one more song should we have played, her boobs would have been out. Yeah, I think that the audience would have been happy, but nevertheless, it was an amazing show. I will never, never forget it. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily harder, but it comes with a lot of assumptions by the other people. Um, Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that it's on purpose and it's sexist or anything. It's just that it is, as I said earlier, it is a fact that there are more males than females in the metal music industry. So they have had, a lot of time to prove themselves, and females have not. And that's why people assume that if you're a female, you cannot play as well, you cannot sing as well, your music is not as good, for example. But since you can prove them wrong by just doing your thing, getting on stage, playing and stuff, I don't really think that it matters, and it doesn't really make it harder, in my opinion. To be honest with you guys, I don't really listen to radio stations because I don't really have the time to do so. But I'm aware that Gwenda's music is being played on many internet radios and whatnot, and that's really, really mind blowing. It's amazing, and I'm actually really excited about that and really thankful to those radio stations because they support our music by playing it. And I do suggest you go listen to those radio stations because well, first of all, they support artists, and second of all, most of their playlists are actually really, really awesome. I don't think I can point out just one or two bands which are responsible for, the sound of the extreme metal genre right now, because in my opinion, everything is related. I mean, if there wasn't Metallica, Slayer, or even the Beatles, nothing would have been the same right now. Well, wisdom I wouldn't say, but let's say just advice. The first and maybe the most important one, in my opinion, is don't care about what other people think. I mean, there will always be people who won't like you or your music and would want to tell you that. Just don't be affected by that because remember, everyone is entitled to an opinion, and that's okay. So the next one is believe in yourself. And the third one, you can actually use being a female as an advantage, especially in the metal music industry, because as I said earlier, there are not many females in the industry, and this draws a lot of attention because it's interesting and it's not done as often, so you can use this attention to your advantage. Well, no, at least not in Bulgaria. I mean, if you're good at negotiating or have good booking agents, nothing is gonna be hard. Actually, I don't think that there is more cattiness than love, especially in the metal music industry. For example, let's take my band Gwendid. We're four girls and one guy in there. We have actually never had a fight. I mean, we always reason with each other and just talk, and everything goes really smoothly and easy, to be honest. As for, let's say, communicating with other bands, which have females in them, uh, it has never actually been a problem. I mean, everything is always going so easy and so smooth. So in the sense of the question, I actually do think that, especially in the metal music industry, no one actually really cares so much if you're male or female, as long as you're a cool guy and easygoing. And so, yeah, there is actually a lot more love and support in the metal community than in others, I think. Yes, actually, I did, and I continue attending vocal lessons because you can always learn new things, and it is good to not get laid back on something you're doing and your skills. And pretty much, yeah, just as guitarists need to practice, with the metronome and some exercises and stuff, vocalists do need to practice too, and going to a vocal coach at least once a month actually is extremely beneficial in my opinion. So I'm not planning on cutting off my vocal lessons any soon. Well, guys, that was all from me. Hope you had fun. Hope it was interesting. Follow Gwendid on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Expect new things soon. And the most important, stay safe. Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Ariel.
I'm Karina.
And we're from Simply Brick. And we're doing an interview for Concert Junkies with Rob and John. Make sure to subscribe on their YouTube. Hit the bell icon. So, the first question. The term rock god is used more often than rock goddess. Does that bother you?
Honestly, no, because to me it's the same thing as using the word mankind. I think it encompasses all genders, so you can use the term rock god for, let's say, Anthony Kiedis or for Joan Jett, and it equals the same thing to me.
Agreed, 100%. To me, it's exactly like saying the individual or the person. It doesn't bother me. Do you look up to male artists or female artists?
Definitely both. I mean, my favorite band is Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they are all males, but it doesn't mean that I don't also really appreciate female artists. Like, I don't know, Courtney Love is pretty good. What do you like?
Same here. I really like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like Colin Green. I like Winter. It's really a mix and match. Even I like Billie Holiday, and I can't say I look up to more female or male. It's really just a mixed bag, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Do you find it's harder to book gigs or shows as a female act?
I haven't noticed any issues. I don't know, at least within the local scene in Montreal, it's been fine, so.
Same here. I was the only female in my last band, and yeah, it wasn't too difficult to book gigs, and I think it's actually not as hard because since it's more, I would say there's less of a frequency of females in music or in the music scene, that actually girls, it's easier to get them to do shows and stuff.
Yeah, you find?
I find, yeah, because it's it's more of a rare thing, so rarer, I would say, than male, so.
Yeah, I would say in the rock and metal scene there's less.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely in those kind of scenes. Do you find that it's harder to be a female in the industry?
I mean, from personal experience, yeah. I remember one time I went to a show and it was an all-female band. It was the Leftovers. And the engineer comes up to me. I'm getting my bass ready, I'm tuning in. He comes up to me and he's like, okay, so this is where the input is on the amp, so all you have to do is take your wire and plug your bass there. And I'm like, really? You actually think I'm that fucking stupid? Oh, I didn't just swear it. So do you actually think I'm that stupid that I can't
plug your bass
yeah,
in?
that I don't know where to put my bass in an amp? I don't know. I was a little bit annoyed by that. It kind of happens a lot, actually, I find, but.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I've had that too. It's do you know, again, similar, setting up, do you know how to adjust, your volume or your treble and your bass on the amp, or obvious questions kind of that make you seem, I guess, rewarded, or I guess there's this indirect feeling of that they don't expect you to know, or
they think you're stupid.
Yeah,
basically.
Essentially. So
yeah.
Let's be honest. And also, one thing I noticed, and it's that sometimes some people expect girls to not be that knowledgeable about either would it be theory or playing or being very adept with their instrument. And I've had a question can you really play guitar? I was yeah, I could. Someone that I was just getting to know at a bar or something. You actually really play guitar? Wow. I haven't met a girl that really knows how to play really well. So it is a little bit condescending sometimes.
Yeah, I would say definitely.
Do you have any wisdom for females that are coming up in the music industry?
Yes. I would say know your instrument very well,
Precisely, yeah.
Just show everyone that you can do it, and I don't know, every time I go to a show, it's in my head. Like, I need to prove to these people that I know what I'm doing. Like, I know I'm a woman bassist, and I feel like, I've gotten comments, like, the same as you, oh, check this chick out, she's probably gonna be shit, or something like that, So it's just like, it just feels good when you can, like, go up and it's, you just show them, like, yes, I'm fucking good, I know what I'm doing. I swore again? Sorry. Anyways, you go on.
Yeah, agreed 100%. Like, just know your instrument, and just become so immersed in it, and just love it and get to know it, and again, the number one thing, just do it out of love. And again, like, your skills, and your own validation when it comes to your playing skills, and don't let anyone try to put you down. Just stay strong and just keep on playing and keep on being humble, and try to improve as you can, and yourself best, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah, sounds good. Alright, well, it was nice talking to you guys, and catch you next time, I guess. Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, my name is Mindy Jackson. I'm one of the vocalists for Dying Oath, a metalcore band from Southwest Virginia. I'm here to answer a couple of questions for you. The first question is, the term rock god is used more often than a rock goddess. What is your feelings? I honestly think that maybe this term was coined at a time when women didn't really do rock music. Not to mention, I think that it is still a man's world, even though women are up and coming in the scene, which is beautiful, by the way. So I'm not really offended by it. Do you look up to male artists or female artists? Honestly, both. I grew up in the 80s, so my influences were a little bit of everything from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts to Journey, Nirvana, a little bit of everything, to be honest. I like the blues. That's probably actually my favorite genre, believe it or not. So I think both types of artists have a lot to offer. I don't think that it really matters what gender you are. Is this just a hobby for you, or is this going to be your career, and why? Yes and no. It is definitely a hobby. It's something that I like to do in my spare time, but I feel that it has always been a career for me. I've been doing this now for about 20 years, and I don't plan to stop anytime soon, so hopefully I can continue to do this and get to a point to where I don't have to work a normal job. I think that's the plan for everybody. Do you have any funny stories on stage or on tour? I have millions. I think probably one of the funniest things that happened to me was one of my friends bought me a shot at the bar, and I'd just been headbanging, and it wasn't what I thought it was, so it kind of made me throw up in my mouth, and I had to continue singing, so I had to swallow it as to not throw up on the crowd, and that was pretty brutal. Another time I actually got knocked out by the bass player. I think that was pretty funny when I wasn't bleeding anymore. I could probably go on about these things for days. Is it harder to be a female in the industry? I think in a lot of ways it probably is, because still to this day I think a lot of people probably don't take us as serious. But also I think that it's coming up in a big way. I think that women are continuing to succeed, and people are starting to take notice. So I think that it's always harder to be a woman, but I think that times are changing, and it's probably not always going to be that way. What was your first feeling when you heard yourself on the radio? Overwhelmed, I think. Proud. It's a long road to get there, I think, especially on the local radio station that we were on. That was huge to us because all our friends and family could hear it, and it wasn't just something that was on the internet. So it was very fulfilling. I think that's a good word to describe it. In your style of music, who paved the way? That's a hard question, actually. as far as metalcore goes, I mean, there's tons of bands that, for me personally, paved the way. Bullet for My Valentine, um, tons of bands, really. But I think that other genres of music actually probably paved the way for metalcore. Metal, obviously, rock. Um, I think that everything kind of stemmed from the blues, which is also why it's my favorite genre. But I can't really choose just one band because there are so many great metalcore bands that, have been super present in the scene, and I think all of them kind of had a lot to do with it. Do you have any wisdom for females coming up in the music industry? The number one thing is don't let anything stop you. Don't let people tell you no. Don't let them tell you that you're not good enough, because that's not the truth. That's just opinions. Number one. Number two, always be who you are, because in this industry, it can tear you down. It can make you want to be somebody else. There are so many critics. The other thing is to always do what makes you happy, regardless of what people say or do, because people are going to crucify you no matter what decisions you make, or, really what kind of music you do, or really anything that you do in life in general. So just be yourself and be true to your own music. Is it harder to book gigs as a female act? I don't believe so. I don't think that I've ever had an issue with that for being a female. I think that depending on the genre or whatnot, females aren't really very apparent from where I'm from. I'm probably one of the only within 200 miles. So I think it's hard just to book gigs nowadays, especially with a pandemic in general, but I don't think that it has anything to do with gender. Do you feel that there's more cattiness than love in the industry of female music, and why? I think that I've experienced a little bit of that, not only in music and the industry, but in life in general. I think that it's harder for me as a human being to get along with women, because some of them can be very catty, and they treat things as a competition and whatnot. But I don't think that's just women. I think that's people in general. But in my experience with males, they've been very welcoming and warm, and I've been very blessed in the scene that I'm in. Did you use vocal coaching? Not per se. I did take opera lessons at some point, but I never took any type of coaching as far as screaming goes or anything like that. I kind of self-taught myself by watching videos and talking to other artists and trying to figure out what I was, meant to do, and how to do it properly, which is very important if that's something that you want to do. But I didn't do vocal coaching per se. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you, Robert, for doing this for us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to the fans, and thank you for my boys in Dying Oath for the undying support. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.